All right, so we are facing the Carolina Hurricanes in the Cup Finals. Let's take a look at our player stats through. Actually, we'll wait till after this matchup. Actually, for that matter, I think we'll do that. Let's take a look at what Carolina's looking like. Actually, how they did during the season in terms of simulation and also the playoffs, because I do not really know how the Eastern Conference is at this point. So Carolina was a 7th-seeded team, so they're a pretty much maybe a cheese team, or at least under-simulated, I don't know. But 38, 30, and 10. 3.3 goals for per game, 3.04 against, power play 18.1, penalty kill 80.2. So they had a little bit of a mid-regular season. How has their playoffs been at this point compared to us, though? Let's see here. So they're 12-3. They've only played 15 games up to this point. Jeez, they're a really good team. They're scoring more goals for per game than us. They're better defensively. Their power play has been better, and their penalty kill has been way worse. So yeah, Carolina is a dangerous team, I guess, based on the playoff numbers, but regular season not as much. Yeah, that's crazy that they've actually only lost that much amount of games. It said that they've only lost 3, which means that I believe they must have swept the first round then, right? Let's see, where are you, Carolina? Yeah, they swept New Jersey, who was the 2nd seed. Then they went on to the next round, of course, where they took out the Flyers, who were the 4th seed in 5 games. And then they took out the great Florida Panthers, who are the 3rd seed in 6. Yikes. I hope that they don't have anybody super good at this point. I feel like they might have some good players, but at the same time, I don't really know what they've done here early on in this franchise mode. But let's see what we got here for Carolina. Oh, yeah, that's right. They made a bunch of trades with the Vancouver Canucks early on. Marcus Naslund, Brendan Morrison, Sami Kapanen. Good top line. Naslund has dropped off a lot, though. Second line, Jan Hlavich, Todd White, and Torsten Timander, who was a former 4th overall pick 5 years ago. Third line has Alexander Semin. God damn it. Alexei Zhamnov at 37 years old, and Michael Groshek. Okay. So that's a pretty good top 9. And a 4th line, Thomas Holmstrom, Jeff Shantz. Oh no, they have Jeff Shantz. We know what he did before in Tugi's San Jose series. I think he was really good, if I remember right. And Joffrey Lupul as well as there. That's a good forward group. Very good forward group. Defensively, they have Tim Archer, who's a generated guy. He was drafted 5th overall only 2 years ago. So Carolina's recently become good. They also have Marek Zilichki. James Wisniewski's there now. Interesting. John Michael Lyles is also there. Henrik Telinger and Stefan Robida. Good defensive core too. Goaltending, Ilya Brzgalov. Oh man. Hopefully we look like a bunch of bears or something like that so he gets scared. And then Sven Karlsson, the backup, who is a generated goalie that went undrafted. All right. Scratch Lubos Barteshko, who we actually had at one point, didn't we? Yeah, we did have him briefly. I forgot about that. All right. Lubos. They also have Damon Lovejoy, who's a generated guy. Former 2nd rounder 4 years ago. And Joseph Mara. It's not the toughest team we've ever played before, but they definitely have good depth in the middle, good depth on the wings, good depth on defense, and they also have solid goaltending. So they're a pretty good squad, and I'm hoping obviously that we can find a way to beat them. So let's get into this matchup already and waste no time. I probably already made a cut in this, so this might be part 2 of the finale, just because I don't want it to be one long episode. It better be 2 longer episodes, so 2-hour-long episodes instead of 1 2-hour-long episode, you know. So, anyways, let's get into this, see if we could find a way to win our first cup. It's really nice to have Sedin back, so hopefully he continues on his pace because he's been really good in the first 2 games he's played in this playoff run. First period of the Stanley Cup Finals. We are up 1-0. It's the Karate Kid who scored the game-winning goal in Game 7 against the Oilers. Huge goal there for him to start this one. Shots are 8-8, and it's a 1-0 game for us. So pretty even first period, but obviously we're looking to find a way to get more goals if we can, because obviously 1 goal isn't really that safe in this game. Can we find a way to get some insurance in the second period? Second period? 1-1, I'll take it still, but it doesn't look good for our offense. right now at least. Hopefully it surges out of nowhere, but shots are 22-15. It's a 1-1 game because Sami Kapanen decided to score on Sedin. Sedin's still been pretty good at this point, but 1 goal on 15 shots. Definitely not as strong as his first 2 games, but can we find a way to get our lead back? Let's see what happens in period number 3. Come on, boys. Power play for us to start the third. They get another goal from Sami Kapanen, but we answer right back. It's Shea Weber again. Weber was really good near the end of last series, so that's nice. Tamander gets Carolina back to lead, though. Sedin's having a little bit of a tough time here in his first Stanley Cup Finals game. But we are only down by 1. Can we find a way to tie this one up? Come on, guys. Who wants to be the guy to tie it up for us, please? Marcus Naslund, the empty netter. And we are going to drop game 1 by a score of 4-2. Final shots were 34-24, so we had our opportunities, but Brzgalov was not afraid of us. He's not afraid of a Predator, but he's afraid of Bears. So if we were the Bruins, maybe we'd have a better chance. But anyways, Maria from Legwand, and then we had Weber from Comrie and Artmeyer. Any badly minus people in that first game? Yep, Jason Spezza and that top line got completely destroyed. So we got to readjust some stuff. And Sedin was really bad. Ugh, that's not good. Yeah, it's not good that Sedin is kind of finding his old ways again after he had 2 good games in a row. I mean, he could be back in good next game. So we probably will keep him in. But obviously, if he plays 2 bad games in a row, I could turn to Jimmy Howard if we want to. But in terms of the top line not doing good defensively, let's get Marita back to the top line. Hartnell can go back down to the second unit. And then I will also go with Artmeyer on the left side here with Winnick and Comrie. And we'll do Bork with Kopecky and Lacosta instead. And defense will stay the same. But yeah, let's hope that Sedin can respond to that. Because if he doesn't, like I said, I think we might go to Jimmy Howard. We probably won't go to Brust again this playoff run. Just because Brust has been pretty mid. But obviously we could go to him if all the goalies other than that aren't working that well. So we're down 1-0 here in the Cup Finals. Not a great way to start it off, losing another home game. We have been pretty bad on home ice, to say the least, because we found ourselves in a 2-0 hole the last 2 series in a row. Let's see if we have a response here in Game 2. Because if we can at least tie the series up, then we could find ways to potentially win in Carolina. We've been a good road team so far. So let's see what happens. Carolina's also been a very good road team in this playoff, so that's probably why they're winning. Because they were 7-1 going into that first game of the series. But game number 2, do we have a response? First period. Scoreless, I mean, I'll take it, but we've only got the 1 goal so far in the series. So that is not ideal. Actually, the 2 goals in that last game, right? Yeah, we scored 2 goals last game, but still, we only have 2 goals in 4 periods. Definitely showing a little bit of a lack of offense here, which is not ideal. Our offense definitely has been inconsistent. At times, we need guys like Van Allen to do what they were doing in last round, because Van Allen had like 7 goals against the Oilers, so I definitely think he could do more here in the Cup Finals. Shots are 10-7 in favor of them. Can we find a way to break the deadlock? Second period. Still scoreless, so man. Shots are 25-12 in favor of them. So Sedin's having a good game, which is a nice response to his last game. But the fact that we only have 12 shots through 40 minutes is not very good. Not very good at all. That's probably why we haven't scored yet. But we need to find a way to break the deadlock here in this third period, or else we're going to have to win 2 games in Carolina, just like we did against the Oilers pretty much. Actually, we lost 1 game in Edmonton, never mind. But just what we did against Calgary, basically. So can we find a way to have a good third period here and get the series tied up? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Power play for us is 5-on-3. And we do score first. It's Rene Bourque of all people. Van Allen scores as well. I knew Van Allen couldn't be quiet for too long. He is just too elite to not be a factor in any series pretty much at this point. Final 5 minutes. Carolina gets on the board as Tamander scores. Not ideal. Do we have any more goals in us? We are still only up by 1. Ladislav Nagy, not even an empty net goal, but that gives us that 2-goal cushion and will give us a huge 3-1 win as we win our first ever Stanley Cup Finals game. Let's go. So now it's a 1-1 series headed to Carolina. I'd like that a lot better than obviously being down 0-2. So all the goals came in the third period. Bourque from Lacoste and Kopecky, Van Allen from Spezza, and Nagy from Suter and Hartnell. 3 stars of the game. Sedin, the first star. Huge response from him. Van Allen, second star. And Bourque, the third star. All right, so that was a good little game. The question is, can we string it together in Carolina as well? Like I said, we've been a pretty good road team to this point, so I'm hopeful that our team could continue to do what they do on the road normally, but obviously Carolina is a very different team than the other teams we faced, that they've actually been a pretty good road team as well, so we definitely can't count them out just yet. So it's a 1-1 series. I think we got to keep the team the same. Sedin definitely had a good response last game, so hopefully he could string together a couple runs like this as well, and that could potentially put us in a good spot going forward. So let's see what happens here. Game 3, winner of the series will be 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup potentially. Or well, for sure, actually. I don't know what I'm trying to say. First period, Game 3. Scoreless. Okay, so offensively, I don't know if I really like how we've been playing, but at the same time, we've been playing some good defensive hockey over the last 4 periods, so that's very promising, because if we could suffocate the other teams and just find ways to score 1 to 3 goals, that'd be good, but obviously we need to find our offense in a way too, just because Carolina could just come out of nowhere and score like 3 goals and completely blow us up, so we can't sacrifice our offense too much. But obviously I don't want to sacrifice our defensive play either, because it's been pretty good, like I said, the last 4 periods, only giving up the 1 goal. So let's see what happens in the second period. Shots are 14-8, second period. 2-1 us, okay. They'd scored first, Brendan Morrison less than a minute in, but then Marita scores to make it 1-1, and Legwan scores to give us the lead. Shots are 23-17. It's a good start for the team defensively. Our offense is starting to come alive a bit. Can we lock this game down in the third period? Let's see what happens. Groshek ties it immediately up. So 2 early goals in this game that we've given up. And Lupul scores another early goal for them. But Van Allen answers back. Power play for us. It's a long one. Come on, boys. We do not score on it. Penalty kill here in the third period. We killed it off. This is a close game. Final 5 minutes of this third period. And we are going to be going to overtime in Game 3. So it's going to be resulting in another 4-3 game. We've had a ton of 4-3 games in the playoffs. We're out shooting them 42-20, so we definitely deserve this game. But Brzgalov has been really good for them. Sedin has had a little bit of a struggle here again in Game 3. Who wants to be the hero here and give us our first lead of this Cup Finals? Overtime underway. Come on, please. Come on, boys. Give me a Corzini goal or something like that, because Corzini is the man too. I just like saying Corzini still. It's fun. Come on, boys. Please find a way. Dig deep and find a way. Just believe in yourself. Power play for us. We do not score on it. And then we do score, and it's Jacques of all people. I don't think Jacques has scored a single goal this playoff run. If he has, it's been a long time. But on the 57th shot on goal, we find a way to win, and we have taken a 2-1 series lead with a win on the road in Carolina. Huge goal from Antoine Jacques. Was not expecting him, to be honest. So Marita from Spezza and Nagy. Then we had Legwan from Hartnell. Van Allen's 19th of the playoffs from Spezza and Marita. That's insane. He's almost at 20 goals already. And Jacques second of the playoffs. So yeah, it's been a while since he scored. He might have scored in the first round, but he hadn't scored since. And he gets it from Nagy and Hartnell. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Marita the first star, Hartnell second star. And yeah, Brzgalov was great again for them, but they just couldn't get that offensive support, I guess. Whew. That was a close one. We've had a lot of 4-3 overtime games as well. Like, it's just been a really weird playoff run. Absolutely weird. So we have a 2-1 series lead in this Cup Finals. We're 2 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup. We've been a great road team so far. Can we find a way to win another game in Carolina? Let's see what happens here. Game number 4. We're going to just hop right into it because might as well at this point. Come on, boys. I believe in you. First period. 1-0 us. Good start defensively. Again, we've been having some pretty good games in terms of goals against. Spezza on the power play. Spezza's not been scoring a lot of goals, but he's been setting up a lot. So good to see him on the board. Shots 15-7 in favor of us. So we had a lot of chances, but Brzgalov has kept his team in this game, just like he did last game as well. Hopefully we can find a way to break him a little bit more. Second period. 2-1 us. Okay, they did tie it up on a power play goal from Brendan Morrison, but Ladislav Nagy scores to give us back that 2-1 lead. Shots 26-15 in favor of us. We are outplaying them, but we're only up by a goal, so we need to find a way to score more goals here on Brzgalov, because he's definitely giving Carolina some breathing breath to their game, because if they don't get that goaltending from Brzgalov, they'd definitely be in a way worse hole at this point, I think. But let's see if we could have a big third period and lock this game down and maybe get an insurance marker to make me feel safer. They immediately score to start the third, and it's Archer. Nagy answers back, though. Huge answer from Ladislav Nagy. They answer back again. Sami Kapanen. We've had some pretty bad starts to the third period the last 2 games. Come on, boys. Let's get that lead back. Believe in yourselves. Maybe Antoine Jacques has more goals in him. Come on, boys. Please. And we are going back to overtime for the second consecutive game. And once again, it's going to end in a 4-3 score. I swear every single game almost this playoff run has been a 4-3 final. There's been at least, I would say, probably close to 10 games that have ended in a scoreline. Some of them resulted in losses. Some of them resulted in wins, though. Shots are 33-25 in favor of us. Like I said, Brzgalov has given them a chance, which is not great. Can we find a way to get another overtime winner like last game? Maybe Jacques has another one in him. If we win this game, we take a 3-1 series lead. If we lose, it's going to be a best of 3. Let's see what happens in overtime. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Penalty kill here in overtime. We killed it off. Nicely done. And Carolina scores. That's unfortunate. Marcus Naslund scores on Sedin, and unfortunately, it will be a best of 3 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Like I said, we can't let Brzgalov hold his team in it. And that's exactly what he did. Carolina ends up winning. That's very unfortunate. Spezza from Merida, Nagy from leg 1 and Suter, Nagy from leg 1. But we are back and forth in that game pretty much the entire game. And then they were the only team that went back-to-back goal scoring. Any badly minus people in that loss? Not really. Sedin has had some really rough games here. Nagy got first star. I would take Sedin out, but honestly, at this point, I don't know if it would make much of a difference. The 2-2 series as well. It's like we're at a very crucial point of the series. So, let me actually take a look at how Sedin's stats are looking now. Because I know it's definitely not as good as it was in the first 3 games, or first 2 games he played. It's probably close to a 900 now, my guess. At 915 still. That's actually way better than I anticipated. Alright. Yeah, that's not bad. He's actually doing still really good. He just had some mishaps, I guess, here and there. Alright. Well, we'll keep the rest of the team the same for now, but obviously if there's any bad games defensively, we might make some adjustments to the bottom 6 or to the defensive cores. So, 2-2. Looking to find a way to get ourselves another series lead. If we can find a way to win on home ice, we will be 1 win away from a Stanley Cup. Come on. You got this, guys. Dig deep. Find a response. Don't let that overtime get away from you. First period, game 5. Scoreless. Shots 13-12, so even first period in shots, even in goals. Do we have any goals in us, though, is the question, because I feel like our offense might start to decline again, because, like I said, it's been inconsistent in the playoffs, so if we're not going to score in first periods, maybe we're going to start being a little bit more quiet than I want. Can we find a way to break this game open? Second period. 1-1, okay, I'll take it. They did score first, Joffrey Lupul, but Rene Bourque answers back for us pretty late into the period. Shots are even, 25-24, pretty much. Goals are even, and it's anybody's game going into this third period at this point. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can find a way to get that lead. Who wants to be the hero for us and give us a chance to win a Stanley Cup, potentially, in the next game, potentially. Come on, please. I believe in you, boys. I really do. Karate Kid. Van Allen. Van Allen's been a little bit quiet in this series by comparison to the last round, but that's all right. Steven Marita, the Karate Kid. Huge goal there. And that will be the knockout kick or something like that. I don't really know how karate works. But anyways, 2-1 win. Shots 35-32. Great game from Sedin. Great game from our defensive core. Offense was a little bit quiet, but we are 1 win away from winning our first Stanley Cup in franchise history in this last season. So Bork from Daly and Marita from Spets, and Weber is the game-winning goal. So Marita's had a couple huge game-winning goals in these last 2 rounds. Sedin gets first star, Brzgalov second star, and Marita the third star. All right. We just need a win in Carolina, and we could have a Stanley Cup. Or else we're going to a Game 7. Maybe all these 4-3 wins have been telling me that it's going to go to a Game 7 scenario. I don't know. But, yeah, let's keep the team the same. Let's keep it the same. Can we get a Stanley Cup, or will we go to Game 7? I believe in you guys. I'm excited to see what ends up happening regardless, but come on, let's get it done. Let's get this cup win. We just got to start early and play good defense as well and get that good goaltending from Sedin as usual. Carolina opens the scoring. Todd White on the power play. Not ideal. Do we have a power play goal of our own? No, we do not. Come on, boys. Let's just get an answer here. Tie this game up. Give us a chance for the final 40 minutes. And we are going to be trailing after 1 with the shots 12-10 in favor of Carolina. Still pretty even game in terms of chances and also goals. We're only down by 1. Let's have a good second period here defensively. Find a way to tie this one up as well. Come on, boys. Power play for us to start the second period. Hayden Van Allen, I believe that's goal 20 or 21 in the playoffs. Artmeyer gives us our first lead of the night. 2 huge goals in the second period from our boys. Do we have some insurance in us? Brendan Morrison makes it 2-2. Of course he does. Of course he does. Penalty kill it here in the second period. We kill it off. Final few minutes of period 2. And it's going to be a tie game going into the third. We are being outshot by 5 shots, so they do have a little bit of a lead in the shot advantage, but not by much. Goals are dead even. Sedin's been solid so far. If we could have a good third period here, we can find ourselves potentially with the Stanley Cup at the end of it. If we don't have a good third period, we might find ourselves into a Game 7. Who wants to be the hero? We've seen Van Allen score some goals. We've seen Artmeyer score occasionally here in the playoffs as well. We've seen the Karate Kid with a lot of game-winning goals. Who wants to be the guy in this third period to give us a chance at the cup? See what happens. Come on, boys. I believe in you. Who wants to be the hero? Who wants to be the hero? Mike Comrie. 3-2 lead for us. Power play for us as well. We do not score on that. Final few minutes. We're up by 1 goal here. We're going to intervene with 5 minutes left. We are on the PK, but we are going to intervene just in case we do find a way to win the cup here. I'm not going to waste any time and just not jump into it. So, we got to see in case. If we have to go to a Game 7, so be it. But we got to do this. Let's see. So, we will go to... Yeah, they're 12-13 home jerseys. Okay, perfect. So, here we go. Let's see what happens. See if we could kill off this penalty. And if we could get an insurance marker. And win this Stanley Cup in Carolina. Or are we going to a Game 7 back on home ice somehow? Yeah, we're definitely still on the PK. I have no idea how much power play time is left for them, though. Nice face-off win there. Weber can't clear it. Now he's got it, and now we got it out. Thomas Kopecky. He will battle with it with Kapanen. Okay, looks like our penalty kill is pretty much over. Yeah, it is. Nice. Kapanen walks in. Nice poke check by Weber. Kapanen to Morrison, turned away by Sedin. Nice little save there. Man, this is nerve-wracking as hell. And after this, like I said, we'll probably take a look at some players' career stats. Like, we'll probably take a look at guys like Spezza. Guys we draft. I feel like I want to take a look at everybody on the NHL roster. I might not take a look at anybody in the AHL, though. But I'll probably take a look at everybody on the NHL team. And then we'll take a look at our records and the league records. And then that's all we'll take a look at, because... at this point, I don't want this episode being 2 hours long, and I've already been recording for like an hour, 20 minutes almost at this point, so I just don't want my voice to like completely go on me. Morrison won the draw getaway, guys. Kapanen and blast, nice save by Sedin. They're definitely still getting pressure. They actually almost do have full pressure, so that's not great. So we better win this face-off and get it out of our zone here, boys. Spezza will take it against Brendan Morrison. They're trying their best to try and tie this game up. Kapanen another shot, turned away. Let's just get it out, so that way they don't have that full pressure. Nicely done. Weber will carry it up. He'll just dump it. Great way to get rid of that pressure. Kapanen with the puck. Get it away. Get it away. Sammy Kapanen is so quick. He finds Naslund, turned away. Morrison a chance. Huge save by Sedin. Is that the save? Like the Braden Holtby one against Vegas. That was absolutely massive. Huge save there by Sedin. On the blocker, we just took another penalty. And we have to kill off a penalty if we want to win the Stanley Cup. Shea Weber heads to the box, of course. That's not great. Came after some good saves by Sedin, but we need to kill off this penalty here. Like, the season's on the line for the Carolina Hurricanes. They're going to end up pulling their goalie here on this power play, potentially, too, if they don't score fast enough. So, we got to find a way to just not let this stay in our zone too long here, boys, or else that will hurt us. Lovich to Mander. Nice play by Kopecky. He'll backhand it out. That's what I need from Kopecky. Joffrey Lupul walks in. Nice save by Sedin. He'll freeze it. And we just need saves like that from Sedin. He just needs to make those glove saves and not throw it back out. The Stanley Cup is coming out a little bit premature, maybe. So hopefully that stays out. It's kind of weird that they're putting it out right now. Like, I thought they would have pulled it out with like 20 seconds left or something, or 10 seconds. But we're literally on the PK here. Anything can happen. So it's a little bit scary to see that guy take that out. Hopefully it is going to come to us, though. Kopecky versus Todd White on the face-off dot. Todd White will tie up with him. Kopecky gets to it, and he'll clear it. That's exactly what I want from Thomas Kopecky. He's literally, like I said, the replacement right now for Joe Pavelski in the lineup, so he needs to do that type of thing on the PK. Nice stick there, and he'll keep it in the Carolina zone a little bit longer. Nicely done. Okay, boys, get it away. Lovich walks in, finds Lupul. It's blocked in, and it comes to Lacosta, and he'll clear it. Nicely done by the young kid, Walker Lacosta, of all people. So Lacosta and Kopecky out here in these crucial stages. I like who it is, at least. Those guys are good defensively. Lupul to Lovich, and there's no room there. Yikes, that was dangerous. Lacosta picked it off. Turned away. Yep, nice. Okay, we're into the final minute. I don't know if they're pulling a goalie yet. Lovich, huge shot blocked by Seabrook. Absolutely clutch. Get it away, guys. This is the scariest situation off the post. They get the rebound. Joffrey Lupul scores. Oh, no. The game literally, Jesus. Joffrey Lupul ties the game up here with 39 seconds left on the power play. As Sedin's absolutely all over the place, and we can't find the rebound. Oh, my goodness. He almost got that, too. If he would have got that, that would have been the save of the century. God damn it, man. We might be going to overtime here. I got to see that goal for a second here. Because this point shot by Tamander was deflected in front by Lupul. And it goes off the post. And it screws over Sedin. He tries to... I don't know why his head goes into the ice like that. But don't ask me. And then he can't get this one there. Suter's a little bit late to get over too. God damn it. They had to really take out the Stanley Cup too early, huh? Oh, we could still win this cup, though. But obviously this game could go to overtime as well and result in a 4-3 score. Trevor Daley with it. Let's get a response. Comrie walks in, finds Winnick, turned away, rebound, turned away too, as Artmeyer had a great chance. That would have been amazing if we would have responded right away. Jesus. Lovich walks in, nice pick off by Weber. If Weber didn't take that penalty, though, we could have been still leading. It's unfortunate. Winnick can't get the pass in, but we did have a guy behind the defender. That would have been huge if we would have got a chance there. Get away, guys. Naslund throws it down low. Brendan Morrison throws it back. Archer bomb turned away. Huge save by Sedin with his pad. It'll come out. We're going to be going to another overtime situation. If we score the next one, we win the Stanley Cup. If we allow the next one, we're going to a Game 7. That's really unfortunate that we could not get to that rebound. They're out shooting us big time as well. But we got to be definitely a little bit more disciplined. We can't give their power play chances. All right. Overtime underway. We just need one goal. One goal to win that cup. Who wants to be the guy? Here is the Karate Kid. He has some game-winning goals. He'll drop it back, and it's not Shea Weber. Trevor Daley finds it to Morita. Morita walks in, finds Spezza. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Morita throws it back to Weber, over to Van Allen. He finds Daley. Daley a shot turned away. Good pressure here early on. Weber again throws it to Spezza, can't get through. Spezza, good poke check there, but he needs to still catch up to Kapanen. Sammy Kapanen throws it to Morrison. Oh my goodness, it was dangerous as hell. It's bouncing like crazy. Archer turned away as well. Jeez. The Karate Kid back with the puck again. He can't get by. A little bit rushed opportunity. Kapanen gets poked though. Van Allen over to Weber. Weber finds Spezza. Jason Spezza trying to make a move, of course, but can't get by. Rita can't get it away from Archer. Here is Naslund. Marcus Naslund gets hood up. I don't know if that was close to being offside, but it wasn't. Nagy finds Hartnell, who's now on the ice. He finds Legwand, so we got our second line out there. Legwand with the puck. Can't get it across. Nagy finds it. Ladislav Nagy walks to the inside. Can't get the shot. Janovic now with it for Carolina. Poke check there. Turns away by Sedin. Hartnell will battle for it. Nagy. Ladislav Nagy having a little bit of a tough time. Finds it back to Hartnell. We find Daly and we get it out. Shea Weber will lead the rush, of all people. Shea Weber walks in, finds Legwand a shot, and Brzgalov will turn him away. Huge save there from Brzgalov. Oh my goodness, my voice feels like it's going to die. Okay. Face off in their zone. Mike Comrie will take it up against Todd White. Comrie will not win the face-off, but he gets it back. Parker Winnick to Artmeyer, over to Comrie, and he couldn't get it to him. Demander with it now for Carolina. Get away, we know he has a good shot. And now it's with Ryan Suter. Suter up to Mike Comrie. Comrie will hold on, finds it to Parker Winnick. Winnick will get in with it. Winnick, the big guy, only one goal in the playoffs, so it would be nice to see him score it, but... Todd White, what a move by Todd White. Walks in, shoots, put it wide, rebounder off the post, and it stays out. Oh my goodness, that was dangerous. I don't know how Todd White walked around like that. Lyles walks in, he shoots it, turned away. He had all the time in the world, but Sedin stares him down. Jesus, that was scary. Lyles is a great offensive defenseman, so yeah, that was a huge save. Groshek, nice hit there. We got it back. Suter to Comrie. Comrie will find Winnick. Winnick dumps it in, and he'll go off on a change. It looks like a hit off extension because we do got a whistle here. So, oh my goodness, yeah, that was a huge save, staring down Lyles. Like Lyles just walked right in, and then Sedin just did not give him anything. Wow, yeah, that might be one of the best saves we've seen, other than that one that happened in the third period. Whew. Okay, we have our top line back out there. Spezza, Marita, Van Allen. They're fully energized up against their third line. Seabrook finds Marita. Marita walking in. Marita up front. It gets poked away. Seabrook with it again. Spezza. Spezza finds Seabrook. Seabrook can't get it across. Will be held in. Yes, it will. Suter finds Marita to Spezza. Download to Van Allen. He put it wide. Marita has a chance. He can't get back to the front, though, with the goalie down. Brzgalov was way out of position, but he couldn't get it back up, and then Marita couldn't get it to the front. There's a chance turned away on Semin. I think Alex Semin's wearing 33. Archer to Zhamnov, blocked. Loose puck in front. We can't get it out. Spezza battling with Zhamnov. And we will not be able to get it away from him. Geez, Zhamnov's putting in a hell of a shift. Spezza takes it away from Naslund. It's with Marita now. He is a little bit gassed. Marita walking in. Can't get the shot through. Now he's got it back again, but can't get it to the net. We've just taken another penalty. And we will have to kill off a PK again. We gave up a power play goal last opportunity, but Jason Spezza is going to the box for slashing. Oh my goodness. This is going to fall apart right in front of our face, isn't it? And then we're going to have to find ways to win in our home ice if we can't kill this off. Oh boy, come on guys. Just kill this off. Go for a short-handed goal, whatever it takes, but don't let them get a goal. Kopecky wins it. Corazzini finds Weber. Weber can't get out, but Corazzini will recover it from and doesn't get it out. Nice pick off there by Corazzini though, and now he will get it out. Nicely done. If you don't succeed at first, try again, right? Lupul walks in. Oh no. Lupul, nice poke check by Corazzini. Absolute stud defensive play. Lacosta takes it. Walker Lacosta short-handed breakaway to win the Stanley Cup. No. Oh my goodness, that would have been insane. When I say go for short-handed opportunities, I didn't expect them to. Wow, that was crazy. Lovic walks back in the opposite way, and they don't get it. Walker Lacosta will take it, and he'll find Corazzini. Wow, we're having a really aggressive PK here. Don't know why. Corazzini can't get in. Zidlichky got poked, but now they have it back again. Weber, you got to get away, boy. Todd White behind his back, and they don't get a chance out of it. Zidlichky to Lupul. Nice play by Weber. And Weber will get it out. Holy crap, man. This PK is scaring me a bit. Oh, my goodness. Nice pick off by Corzini again. Corzini's made some good defensive plays here. In OT, Van Allen will glove it to himself. Can't get by the four other guys down there. There's a 1-on-4. James Wisniewski somehow has a breakaway. Finds Lovich, and he scores. Oh my goodness, you gotta be joking me. See, that's why you don't take out the Stanley Cup too soon there, EA. That's why you don't do it. Well, I don't want to see anything else of that game. We're going to a Game 7. We're going to a Game 7. Late goal against, they get a breakaway. I don't know how our defense did that, but this episode's extra long now because of it. Well, like I said, I probably broke it up into 2 parts, but still, friggin' Christ, man. We go to a Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. A lot of these games have been all 1-goal games in this Cup Finals as well. Do I need to make any adjustments beforehand? Because it comes down to 1 game. I'm pretty sure in my Chicago series last year, I lost to Carolina in the Cup Finals in my last, one of my last episodes. I think it was them. Yeah, it's the same goalies. We got to keep with the same lineup, I think, at this point, right? Just the PK was not good in that last little bit here. I'm okay with that first unit. Second line, we'll keep it the same at this point. It is not going to make a huge difference, probably regardless, I don't think. Let's get to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We knew it was going to go to Game 7 after all these 4-3 games, it seemed like, but let's see it happens. Whoever wins this game wins the Stanley Cup. Come on, please, boys, don't blow it now after those 2 goals we gave up. We were so close to winning last game. Let's have a response here. We open the scoring first. It's the Karate Kid, 59 seconds in. That's a good way to start it off. We need to play good defense too, though. Come on, boys. Let's get some more insurance here. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties. Power play for us. We don't score in it. Yeah, Hayden Van Allen. Let's go. Huge goal there on the power play. 2-0. Good start for our team here. Good start for our team. We need to have it be able to lock it down, though, as well. Because last game, I think we had this as well, where we were up like a couple goals after the first period. But shots 12-7 in favor of us. We're up by a pair of goals. Let's have a good defensive second period here, guys. Oh my goodness, this has been a crazy game and crazy series. Crazy playoff run in general. Final 10 minutes of this second period, still up by a pair of goals from the Karate Kid and Van Allen, of course. Final few minutes of the second period, and we are going to lock that period down. They're out shooting us 22-18, but we're still up by a pair of goals. We're 20 minutes away from winning a Stanley Cup and getting redemption on them from last game. From the taking out the Stanley Cup too early. At least this might give us a chance to win this cup on home ice, which is nice, but still, I would have liked to have won it for sure last game. But let's see what happens in potentially the final 20 minutes of the season. Come on, boys. Get one more goal, and I'll feel much safer. That's all I'm asking for. But we might have to intervene here soon. Todd White makes it a 2-1 game. Don't allow them to score any more goals. Power play for us. We do not score on it. Oh, my goodness. This is scary. Okay, we're intervening with 5 minutes to go. We're up only by a goal, so same outcome pretty much as last game, but we need to lock it down this time. And even though these jerseys did not exist in 2007-08, we're going to the best jerseys that the Preds have ever had. We're going to these ones. And we'll hope that those could lock it down for us. Come on, guys. Let's lock this one down this time around. Don't get into penalty trouble. And let's win the Stanley Cup here. We're on home ice. The fans are going to be behind us, so that could hopefully help us. But we cannot give up anything, okay? 5 minutes and 13 seconds up by 1 goal. We need insurance, but we also need to not sacrifice our defensive play. Oh, man. Yeah, this has been a crazy series so far. I am literally scared of what's going to end up happening here. Daly over to Legwand. Yeah, I think it's a good idea that I decided to go to these jerseys. Legwand throws it across. Morrison picks it off. Archer with it for them. Finds it to Kapanen. Over to Morrison. Turned away. Rebound was there for Kapanen. but a huge defensive play from Trevor Daley. That might have saved the game getting tied potentially. Hartnell with it again. He'll throw it over to Weber. Weber a shot. That one just barely turned aside by Brzgalov. Weber again with it. Finds Legwand. He's turned away again. Nagy, we're getting some pressure here. Weber a bomb, and that's blocked by Hartnell. That's got to hurt. Weber bombs are heavy. Jeez. Archer with it for them. Get away, guys. Don't let him walk in. Nice stick again by Trevor Daley. He's making some huge defensive plays here. Scott Hartnell with it. Hartnell carrying it in. Hartnell to the net. He scores with 1:04 left. Scott Hartnell. That might have sealed the deal. Absolutely huge. It looked like a nothing play, but he gets his 10th goal of the playoffs on some nice little moves, and he snipes it top shelf. And we're only a minute away from winning the Stanley Cup. We're up by a pair of goals, too, so that's an absolutely huge goal at this time from the assistant captain. Carolina's taking its time out. They might pull their goalie here shortly, but that's absolutely a massive goal at this point. And definitely makes me feel a lot more safe than only being up by a goal. Whew. Only if we could have got that last game, but I will take still winning a cup on home ice potentially over winning it on the road. Okay, yep, they're pulling the goalie. We got to get this out. Nice play there. Van Allen finds the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid will walk in. He got a chance, and he gets the empty netter. Steven Marita, his 12th goal of the playoffs from Van Allen, I believe, and somebody else. Might be the final goal we see of the series, but I would not have scripted it any better. A huge goal in Game 7 here on the empty net as well. And just like that, we're only a little bit away from winning our first Stanley Cup in our last season. Marita jumps to second in points. So even though Van Allen's been the best goal scorer, he hasn't been the best point guy. Spezza and Marita have been great. Will be interesting to see who wins the Conn Smythe. And I got to pause this for a second here. I know it's kind of a bad time to do this, but I got to change my batteries or else the controller's going to die during the celebration, and that's not very good. Alright, so controller has batteries now, so now we should be good in terms of a Stanley Cup celebration. That way we don't lose like our battery, like all of a sudden the celebration because of a battery dying. I would be kind of pissed off if that happened, so I had to make sure I did that before that happened. Whew, 36 seconds away. Hey, nice, we get to actually see this cutscene again. First time I think I've seen this Cup 1 in Nashville too, so it's kind of an interesting angle with like that Nashville logo right nearby it. It's kind of weird how there's random footprints down on that ground. I didn't even realize that. I don't know why they have that, but looks like somebody's footprints are down there. 36.6 seconds away. Just got to lock it down, boys. Whew. What a resilient year, though. We've had a lot of series where we fell down early, but we managed to come back. Edmonton, we came back from 3-1. Calgary, we came back from 2-0. Like, we've definitely shown a lot of resiliency this playoff run. And to get our first Stanley Cup in our last season is definitely the best way you could end a series. And also the NHL game, too, because this is our last Cup win of NHL 24. Unless I decide to play NHL 24 randomly in, like, 10 years, but... And your Nashville Predators have won the 2008 Stanley Cup, beating Carolina in 7 games. We get an achievement as well. Craft your glory. Win a championship in a custom league. That's actually kind of interesting. I've never had that achievement before. That's cool. Let's rig and go. There is all the boys, all Stanley Cup champions here in 08. A lot of those guys probably never won Stanley Cups in real life, but let's friggin' go. Sedin came back from injury, wins the Stanley Cup. It's pretty awesome. So Spezza will get the Conn Smythe, 34 points in this playoffs. So only 6 goals, but 28 assists, which is more assists than I believe Marita had points. So that's kind of insane. But the captain will take home the Conn Smythe. Definitely deserves it. I would definitely say Van Allen should have been up there too for his goal scoring, but not going to question it. I wonder who's going to get the Stanley Cup in the celebration, though, because obviously the AI is going to decide on who gets the cup and all that. So Spezza obviously will start off with it, but who's he going to pass it off to? Hopefully we see the Karate Kid. Hopefully we see Van Allen. And then obviously for goaltenders, hopefully we see Sedin. That's who I'd want to see, obviously, on this point. So there is Spezza. Nashville winning their first Stanley Cup. Obviously, they still haven't done that in real life yet, but who knows? Maybe he'll be coming with Steven Stamkos being a Pred now and all that. So there is Spezza, number 23. Who will he pass it off to? Wow, Marida's not even on the list. Only Van Allen and Sedin are. I feel like Van Allen's got to get it at this point. Trevor Daley gets it. Okay, well, that's kind of an interesting one. But shout out to Trevor Daley. Some good defensive plays here in Game 7 in the last little bit. He is a Stanley Cup champion. Let's freaking go wearing number 8. Also, let me know what you guys think about the player faces I made for some of these guys like Trevor Daley. I think that looks decently like Trevor Daley. He'll pass it off to who? Please pass it off to Van Allen. Or Sedin, one of the two. And he's going to another defender, Shea Weber. So we might not even see Van Allen with it. Or Sedin, unfortunately. But Shea Weber getting it, that makes sense. That's actually pretty cool because Shea Weber never won a Stanley Cup in his career, of course. But yeah, there is Shea Weber. That's my face I made for him as well. I think it does look like him a little bit. At least with the beard. And well, who will he pass it off to as the last person in the celebration? No, don't pass it to Parker Winnick. Hayden Van Allen? Yes, thank you. Hayden Van Allen. Okay. I would like to see him with the cup. So Hayden Van Allen, great goal scorer. Without him, I don't think we would have gotten too far. A lot of game-winning goals in this playoff run. And he is a Stanley Cup champion early into his career. Let's go. Had a huge game-winning goal in the second round as well. Cannot forget about that. And he gets the Stanley Cup. So there's him with Weber, Daley, and Spezza. And now we get the nice little photo of our cup-winning team. Jimmy Howard gets in the photo instead of Marshall Brust, but that's okay. That's okay. There is all the boys. Let's freaking go. Now we get to see all the names on the Stanley Cup, which is also one of my favorite things. I like that this is in the game. Just because that way we can say off all the names that are on our cup-winning team. And it just makes it a lot better seeing engraved names also in the cup too, you know. So let's see those names for your 2007-08 Nashville Predators. Spezza, Artmeyer, Bork, Brust, Comrie, Corzini, Daley, Hartnell, Howard, Jacques, Kobasu, Kopecky, Lacoste, Legwan, Marita, Nagy, Pavelski, Seabrook, Sedin, Suter, Van Allen, Weber, and Winnick. Pavelski also gets his name on a Stanley Cup, which obviously didn't happen in real life, so that's also pretty cool, even though he was pretty trash for us in the series, but huge win. Van Allen getting third star of the game. Steven Marita, the second star, 2 goals and 1 assist in a huge game, in a huge performance. And the first star of the game, Marcus Sedin. Absolute great performance in this cup win. I got to get screenshots of Sedin and Marita. The other guys I don't care too much about getting screenshots of because I made them, but these guys need their own screenshots if I want to make player cards of them or something like that, you know? So I got to get a couple screenshots of those guys just so I have something to reference and know what they look like at the end of their career. Where's Marita? Is that him? Yeah, that's Marita. There he is. Oh, wow. Marita looks a lot older than he actually is, but we'll get a screenshot, obviously, of him, too. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Stanley Cup win in the last season. Absolutely awesome. All right. Well, now we're an hour 42 minutes into recording this, but obviously I'm breaking this up into 2 parts. So now the final few things we got to take a look at is awards for the season. So Philadelphia Phantoms won the AHL, in case you were wondering, but let's take a look at our player stats for the playoff run. We'll also wrap up our players' careers, and we'll take a look at the record book, but we'll try and get through it decently quick just because I know this episode's long as shit. But let's take a look at what we got here in terms of forwards. So, start off with our centers. Spezza on the 34 points. Only a +1, but 34 points. He takes home the Conn Smythe. Fantastic playoff run for Jason Spezza. And a fantastic career as well. Just under point per game. Playoff-wise, he was just over point per game. So, Spezza was a very helpful player early on in the series. We drafted him 3rd overall back in, I guess that would have been in the 2001 draft. So, shout out to Jason Spezza. David Legwan was fantastic in this playoff run as well. 21 points in 27 games. Long-time Nashville Predators since the first days of this franchise mode. 388 points playoff-wise. 37 points in 57 games. Absolutely great for us. Mike Comrie has been a solid addition. 13 points in the playoffs for him. And, yeah, he's been a really good regular season guy the last 2 years. 110 points in those 2 years with us. Yeah, he definitely helped out a lot. So shout out to Mike Comrie. Walker LaCosta, we drafted him 21st overall 3 years ago. And he's been definitely a solid player. Not as good this last season in the regular season, but his first year was really good. Playoff-wise, I'd say he definitely improved. But yeah, he had some pretty big short-handed plays in this playoff run too. And then Joe Pavelski, to be honest, is one of the worst players we've had, but shout out to him anyways. 106 points, 325 games. Playoff-wise, 1 goal only in 17 games. That's absolutely atrocious, but he is a Stanley Cup champion at the age of 23. Left wingers, we head to, let's go with Hartnell, Nagy, Bork. We'll go to Marita and Van Allen at the end of it just because this is basically the career wrap-up for these guys. And then we'll take a look at awards as well. But Scott Hartnell, 491 points in 656 games. Really good numbers. 34 points in 54 playoff games. He had a great playoff run as well with the 24 points. So shout out to Hartnell. Nagy actually had 24 points as well, so he stepped up quite a bit. 59 points during the regular season. 472 career points. Obviously, we picked him up. One of our first trades of the series from the St. Louis Blues. That's when we traded away Cliff Ronning, so he's been a good piece to get back for Cliff Ronning for sure. 44 points in 57 playoff games. And then Rene Bourque was a recent acquisition for the fourth line, and he's been relatively solid. Not as good in the regular season again with the plus-minus, but the playoff number is 9 points. Can't ask much more of a fourth line guy. Then we'll head to right wingers. We'll go to Art Meyer. 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points in 27 games. That's really good considering he only had 10 points in the regular season. So, not a bad rookie year for Art Meyer. He would probably be a good PK guy going forward, I would assume. Then we also have Parker Winnick. Only 2 points in the playoffs, but still helped us out a little bit defensively. Was not a bad player by any means, but obviously he's not really developing into that elite potential. But he was a 4th-round pick, so it kind of makes sense. And then Chuck Kobasu only played 2 games with us in the playoffs and 4 during the regular season, but he was still okay. He was still okay. His plus-minus was pretty bad, but he does get his name potentially on the Stanley Cup. Maybe not because of the games played, but there's that. Let's go to now the Karate Kid, and we'll look at Van Allen as well. Steven Marita, a lot of great numbers, 394 points through 410 games. Not as good of a goal scorer as we were hoping for, but he definitely helped out a lot in the playoffs this year. 27 points in 27 games, but was -4. That's interesting. Didn't realize that. But yeah, shout out to Marita. Obviously, he was the 2nd overall pick 5 years ago at this point. So shout out to him. And finally for forwards, Hayden Van Allen, 21 goals in 27 games, 26 points. His goal scoring was phenomenal. Really good regular season with 55 goals and 101 points. And in playoffs, really good playoff numbers. Hayden Van Allen would definitely be one of the men going forward on this team. So shout out to Hayden, former 2nd overall pick in 2028. So 4 years ago. Absolutely awesome. So there's our offense. Defensively, we'll briefly take a look at these guys. So Shea Weber, really rock solid as well. 30-plus point defender. And he's only played 2 years here, but definitely had some big moments in the playoffs. A lot of goals near the end of the playoff run too. So shout out to him for helping us win that Stanley Cup. And then we have Ryan Suter on 11 points. Another great defenseman, of course, from that stacked 2003 draft. 20-something points a season. Really good playoffs, so 11 points in 26 games. Trevor Daley got to run around with the Stanley Cup. He's been okay as well at times. Rounded 20-point defenseman, which is not bad. Good plus-minus the last 2 years as well. And then in the playoffs, he definitely helped out a little bit as well with 8 points. 19 penalty minutes is kind of crazy. I didn't expect him to take that much penalties, but I guess he did. So shout out to him. Wesley Corazzini, one of the funnest names to say. He's been a good defenseman as well for us. Good plus-minus the last few years. His point production hasn't been as good as the first year, but he's been a good goal-scoring defenseman. Also helped out good defensively in the playoffs. Didn't score as much goals in the postseason, but he's still looking like an okay defenseman for the future for sure. And then we have Brent Seabrook with 6 points and a +11 this playoff run. He's been good these first 2 years of his career. It's kind of crazy because a lot of these defenders have only played 2 years, yet they've already won a Stanley Cup. So who knows what they could do an entire career. But, damn. So there's Seabrook. And then Antoine Jacques, who obviously had a huge game-winning goal in overtime that gave us a chance to win the Stanley Cup, basically. He's had 2 solid seasons. Playoff numbers were good this year. 2 game-winning goals. Both of his goals were actually game winners. That's actually kind of crazy. So shout out to Antoine Jacques, former second rounder. But good young defensive core. Only going to get better. And in the goaltending, Marcus Sedin played 9 games since coming back from injury, and he was absolutely brilliant. That's what I need from that elite goalie. And his regular season was great too. His playoff numbers in his career haven't been good up to this point, but this year, 9 games, he was a brick pretty much. Like the 930 was fantastic. He had some rough games, I'd say, still, but he obviously definitely helped his team out to clinch that cup win. And we drafted him in the second round in 2025, so great steal at 30th overall. And then finally, Marshall Bruss, because I guess it sent down Jimmy Howard. I also take a look at Jimmy Howard, I guess, too. But Marcel Brust, we brought him in as a free agent, or actually as a trade acquisition from Tampa, and he's been a pretty solid backup. Not as good in the playoffs, but definitely a good backup in the regular season. And we'll quickly look at Jimmy Howard as well. And I'm not going to look at anybody else in the AHL. I just don't want this episode to be too long. So let me go to the contracts and look at Jimmy Howard. Then we'll look at awards and then get to the record books and all that stuff. Because we're not going to have any retirements from our team in the season, I believe so. But we want to go to Howard. So Jimmy Howard obviously didn't play a ton of games during the regular season, played 4 games, was really good in those, so that's why I held on to him a little bit in the NHL, obviously after Sedin got injured. And in the playoffs, he was really good for us too. 7 wins with a .910 save percentage, so definitely a huge piece in our cup win, and probably would have been the backup goalie for sure next season, and replacement to Brust if this was to go longer. So there is all of our player stats for their careers. We're going to quickly look at the awards here for the NHL and AHL, and then, like I said, we'll go over to the record book and wrap this up. We'll also take a look at the retirements, I guess, but there's probably nobody from our team, but we'll look at it anyways. So there it is, the Stanley Cup for us in 2007-08. San Jose won the President's Trophy, and it was us in Carolina in the Cup Finals. Obviously, it doesn't show that, though, for some reason in Custom League. Joe Thornton won the Art Ross this season. Interesting. He also won the Hart. Yanni Nienema won the James Norris. Vakov Prospel, the Lady Bing. I think it was Blake Jenner or something like that. Wins the Calder for Calgary. Jason Spetz of the Conn Smythe, of course, we saw that. Jamie Storr won the Vezina. That's kind of crazy. Marcus Sedin, the William and Jennings. So shout out to Sedin winning the Jennings. Dempsey winning the Bill Masterton for the Rangers, so that's Nathan Dempsey. Dallas's head coach wins the Jack Adams. Henrik Sedin won the Selke. Shout out to him. Joe Thornton, the Lindsay, and Brian Rolston won the Maurice Richard. That's an interesting one. AHL, Curtis Glencross won some awards. Sergei Fedorov was one of the best players in the AHL, apparently. It's funny. Some generated guys. Martin Gerber was best goalie. Sergei Fedorov again. Pat Falloon. Kurt Sauer as well. Martin Gerber again. Okay. All right. So, final few things. Let's take a look at who retires first, and then we'll take a look at the record book for our team in the league. The league probably won't change much because we are not too far into this series, but we'll definitely take a look at our records as well. So the Rangers would have had the first overall pick in 2008, in case you were wondering. Montreal would have had second. Phoenix would have had third. Islanders fourth. LA number 5. So the top pick in the 08 draft, I should just take a look at this for fun, even though this technically makes this episode closer to 2 hours. So the 2008 NHL draft, technically, Stamkos would be a Ranger if he was in this. Doughty would have been a Montreal Canadian. That's kind of weird. Arizona would have ended up with Zach Bogosian. The Islanders would have ended up with Pietrangelo. Then at 5th overall, LA would have ended up with Luke Schenn. Atlanta would have ended up with Nikita Filatov. Chicago with Colin Wilson. St. Louis with Mikhail Bodker. Washington with Josh Bailey. Vancouver would have ended up with Cody Hodgson, just as they normally did. That's kind of cool. Toronto would have ended up with Kyle Beach. Ooh, that's an interesting situation. And Buffalo would have ended up with Tyler Myers, which actually they did. So Buffalo and Vancouver actually are in their normal spots for the 08 draft. That's kind of neat. So there you go. All right, final things we got to do. Retirements. Who retires after 07-08? Any big names? Sergei Fedorov retires at 39, over point per game in his career. Not really a surprise. Bobby Holik retires. Stu Barnes retires. Sergei Zholtzak, Ian LaPerriere, Aaron Gavey. But shout out to Zoltok. He obviously passed away 5 years before the season, or 4 years before the season. I think it was 04 or 05 that he passed away. So shout out to Zoltok. Left wingers, John LeClaire retires in Tampa. Martin Ruchinski also. Chris Simon, rest in peace to him. Magnus Arvidsson, Rene Corbett. Veli Peltonen, who was with us in the beginning. Interesting. Mikko Eloranta, Patrick Poulin, Nicholas Anderson, Brad May. Donald Brashear already retires. Patrick Cote, Christophe Oliwa. So a couple of face punchers. Right wingers, Mark Recchi already retires in Boston's AHL. That's kind of interesting. He was in Boston though, but he retires in 2007-08 instead of 2010-11. Tony Amonte retires. Theo Fleury is retired. Alex Salvanov, Trent Klatt, Dackel, Steos, Stevenson, Grant Marshall. Defensively, Boris Mironov, Alexei Zhitnik, Drake Barowski, Sean Hill, Keith Carney, stuff like that. Todd Reardon. Probably shouldn't name out everybody or else my voice is literally going to die, but you can see basically all the names that retired. And then in goal, Tommy Salo, Damian Rhodes, Tim Thomas already retires. That's pretty crazy. With some really good numbers, but obviously only played 6 games. So there is the retirements for the 07-08 season. Final thing we got to do to wrap up this final episode is taking a look at the record book. So we're first going to look at the league records, and then we'll look to our own team. We're not going to look at NHL team records because these records, like I said, it hasn't been broken really. Even though Paul Kariya actually did have the Anaheim Ducks record for goals at this point, which is kind of funny. But let's head on over to the NHL records here to start this off and see if anything got broken. I probably not, but never know. So we'll see if there's anything here. Any of my creative guys up there. I probably won't be able to tell though too because they're real players. No, it doesn't look like it's season records. Looking for anybody in the 2030s in terms of records. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any records broken here. Oh, Paul Kariya, rookie goal scoring record, but obviously he wasn't a rookie in the first year of this franchise mode, so that's broken. Anything else? Marcus Sedin was up there in rookie wins in a season. That's cool. So there's actually something in terms of wins. He was only behind Ed Belfour and Terry Sawchuk. So there is that. That's the only NHL record that was broken. That is worth noting. Okay, final thing we got to take a look at is our career records. So we'll go to game-by-game records, and we'll go to our stats here. So starting off with game-by-game records, nothing was broken except for, actually there was one thing. Ladislav Nagy had the most points in a game with 6. Everything else is still a Preds record from before this. So Zidlichky obviously played for the Preds in real life, but not in this franchise mode. So it's kind of weird looking at that. Rookie records, Yashmanev obviously is not a rookie when he was playing in the first year, but aside from that, Morita had a rookie goal record with 35. Marcus Sedin, rookie win record, of course, of 40, and also Morita with 66 points. Season records, this is where it should be changed a little bit. Spezza, most points all time in a season with 102 points. Also assists, he had 82, which is a franchise record. Hayden Van Allen had the most goals in a season with 55, so they did break a few Preds records. And obviously you could see the current records as well. And then career records, I don't think any of this is going to be broken. Yeah, the real David Legwand was up there in games played. Our David Legwand is getting close to that, so almost he could be that actual David Legwand that he was. But none of those actual Preds records getting broken. But you can see currently Scott Hartnell has the most points in our franchise history because he's played the most seasons, of course. Legwand was number 1 in seasons played and games played. Spezza was up there in assists with 332. Penalty minutes, Scott Hartnell 597. Shout out Sedin this season. He still has a long way to go to beat Pecorino though. Wins was Sedin with 122, and goals was Scott Hartnell 207. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this finale of our Nashville Predators Throwback 2000 franchise mode. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this franchise mode. I know it wasn't as long as we were hoping for because I was hoping to be able to get right till the end of this franchise mode. But obviously with NHL 25 coming as soon as it is, we have to jump into that next game as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything about the series. Obviously, we'll be doing another throwback franchise mode with a 2009-10 roster probably in it would be in less than a year from now, but obviously probably in the new year sometime in 2025 we'll do something like that in NHL 25. So That'll be fun. And obviously, there's a lot of other NHL 25 content coming as well. So, anyways, anything down below, and I'll see you guys in NHL 25.